Welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you'd purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today, we'll be going over a Day-Date 36 from Rolex, an Oyster Perpetual in 18 karat yellow gold, a Green Ombre Diamond set dial with the fluted bezel and president style bracelet. Reference number 128238. Now, we'll be going over the case, the dial, bezel, the crown movements, the functions rather, the movement itself within, as well as the bracelet, and I'll be giving you my thoughts on all of these throughout the video. Now, looking at the case, it's 36 millimeters in diameter from finger to thumb, as indicated in the name. It is a Day-Date 36. It contains the monoblock middle case with the screw down case back and winding crown to ensure water resistance down to 100 meters or 330 feet. It also is made entirely out of 18 karat yellow gold, as you can see here, with the fluted style bezel, all holding the sapphire crystal, which is scratch resistant, with the Cyclops lens directly over the date, as you can see at the 3 o'clock position. This bezel is also 18 karat yellow gold, matching that of the case, all high polish everywhere that you can see, no satin finishing here. All right, and now with this fluted bezel, it has the fluted style bezel as a sort of like a, what it used to be was that it was made for the function of screwing the bezel directly onto the case in order to ensure the waterproofness. Now over time, the technology has advanced to the point where it's no longer actually necessary to have a screw-on bezel, because it can stay waterproof just fine. And so they managed to keep this sort of fluted bezel on their watches in order to keep them recognizable, and they're always in some sort of gold, and in this case it's a matching yellow gold. Now taking a look at the dial, we have what is known as the Green Ombre Dial. Ombre means sort of like a gradient look. As you can see, it has that sunray sort of finishing, but it's very subtle because you start from a very intense green at the center, and as you move outward it becomes a smokier green almost to black. So you have every value of green in the center of this dial. All right, as you can see, as I move it throughout this light box, you can see how it plays in the light. It's very dark for this watch, and I don't want to overexpose the rest of the case here, so I'm keeping my exposure a little bit low, but you can actually see how intensely dark this dial becomes, and in the daylight it's absolutely gorgeous. It also has 10 diamonds, 2 of them being baguette style diamonds, the longer bar shaped diamonds, very nicely counterbalancing the date aperture at the 3 by the 9, and using the 6 as a counterbalance against the day at the 12 o'clock position. All right, so looking at all of this, it has a very distinguished look, very should I say analogous type of color scheme as well, as this is green and yellow next to each other. All right, now this functions as you would expect. Simply unwind the crown to the first position. You can wind the watch there, from this point. And if you're at a dead stop, only about between 20 to 30 full winds is all you really need to get it winding, to get it running smoothly again. And once you start feeling the damping of that crown starting to ramp up, that's when you've reached the full power reserve. Right? Pull the crown out to the next position. You can then rotate it clockwise about a quarter turn to advance the date forward, and rotating it counterclockwise will advance the day aperture forward at the 12 o'clock position, as you can see. All right, so rather simple there. Pull the crown out to the final position. Now note that the seconds hand has stopped, and you can actually adjust the time from that point, and then press the crown back in to ensure that 100 meters of water resistance. Now what makes all of this work is the caliber 3255 movement made in-house by Rolex. You can't see it through the case back, unfortunately, but you know that you are getting your gold content, your money's worth there. Right? It also has the ±2 second per day time differential after casing, exceeding Swiss standards of timekeeping. It has the center, hour, minute, and seconds hands from the center, all functioning with the instantaneous day and date in those apertures, the 12 o'clock and the 3 o'clock respectively, as I had just demonstrated. It also has unrestricted rapid setting. What that means is that it doesn't matter what time of the day it is, you can still set the date or the day at any point during the day. Now typically watches that have a date or day or both complication requires that you not touch those rapid setting functions between the hours of say 6:30 p.m. and 8:30 and 8 a.m. And that is because during that time the day and date modules are actually engaged, and so messing with them during that time period could potentially damage the movement. Not so with this watch. It's extremely nice and extremely forgiving. It also has those stop seconds for precise time setting, which is that hacking function as I had indicated earlier. All right. It also has the paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring with high performance Paraflex shock absorbers. What that means is that you can get relatively close to magnetism. You can take a few bumps here and there on the watch and it'll still be keeping time just fine. No issue there. And also it has a bidirectional self-winding via a perpetual rotor. That's what makes this an automatic style watch. What that means is that you can simply wind the watch manually using the crown, as demonstrated earlier, but naturally wearing it on your wrist will effectively move that rotor around and keep that mainspring wound all the way up to an approximate 70 hours of power reserve. Impressive for any watch, and I wouldn't expect anything less from a Day-Date in this day and age, because a 70-hour power reserve is nearly 3 entire days of not even needing to wind the watch. You can set it down on a Friday, pick it back up on a Monday morning, ready to conduct business. No issue there. You can still wear the watch, no need to wind it. All right. Taking a look at this bracelet here, we also have this President style bracelet as debuted on the Day-Dates. All right. High polish links down the center with satin brush finished links on the outside with high polish along the sides there. All right, all tapering down very nicely down to the clasp. All right, now the President style bracelet combines the best of both worlds. The Oyster style bracelet, which is the stronger 3-piece links going all the way across, with the Jubilee style links, which are actually kind of, well, they're definitely smaller. They have the semicircular form with all of that extra spacing to give it a very nice, soft, supple feel and extra breathability that, you know, well, the Oyster style bracelet, I'm not saying that the Oyster doesn't allow your wrist to breathe, but the Jubilee style and the President style also give it extra breathability. All right, so if you're active, you'll keep cool with this. Now, moving down to the concealed folding crown clasp, you can't see it from the outside, but the only thing showing it is the Rolex crown. The way to open it is to simply lift the top of the crown, and it opens very nicely, very easily. And taking a look at the inside there, we also have those hallmarks showing that it is indeed entirely made of rare metals, in this case, yellow gold. Also, we have hallmarks underneath the lugs of this case showing you that it is also indeed yellow gold. I'm not going to be able to zoom in close enough for you to see exactly what they are or how they look like, but if you take a loop, you can see them quite clearly, right? While we're here with the bracelet open, I'll try it on and give you some more of my thoughts as to how it wears. Now, this is a Day-Date, entirely yellow gold. Even though it is a 36, I prefer the 36s myself. I have a 7-inch wrist in circumference, and so having a 36 to me feels very nice. It's 12 millimeters thick, 43.4 millimeters lug to lug, and only a 20 millimeter between lugs. So if you want to switch out the bracelets, it's a very friendly size for changing out the bracelets. But why would you want to? You probably don't even need to. Now with that 43.4 millimeter lug to lug distance, it feels very nice. It looks very presentable because I have a very good framing of the bracelet on both the top and the bottom of the watch, and a very clear view of the dial. The 36mm to me is perfect, at least on my wrist. I can see the day and the date apertures very easily. I can read the time super easily, and I get a very clear view of that Green Ombre dial. Very hard to see without using your eyes. I'm trying to get you to see what I see, which is very difficult. All right, I got the angle there. All right, so you have that sunburst sort of sunray patterning on that dial with the smoky gradient as it gets towards the outer parts of the dial, where it sort of very, very nicely dissipates into this very dark, extremely dark shade of green, almost smoky look to it. All right, and so with a dial like that, very, very uncommon to see this sort of dial on a Rolex, but I would love to see Rolex put out more dials like this, very similar to what you would find on a Vacheron Overseas, or maybe like an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, or even, yeah, just a Royal Oak, not the offshores. You have that very nice patterning with something more to it, and that's what I love about this watch. Now, again, this is a Day-Date. Very heavy on the wrist because this is all yellow gold. You certainly get your gold content worth here in both the solid bracelet as well as this case. This bracelet, not as big of a counterbalance against the case, so I can definitely feel which side of the case, which side of my wrist the case is on. And, if I were, flailing about wildly, maybe it could drift around my wrist depending on, how tightly I have it. But otherwise, it feels very nice. Center of gravity just below or just above the center of my wrist there. All right. Now, enough of what I think. What do you think about this watch? Let us know down in the comments below what you think. And do you think you would like this sort of green color? I think it's excellent on this specific style of watch. This yellow gold with a very, very dark value green on there. Very hard to see actually on this camera. I'm checking the monitoring here. It's incredibly dark, but looking at it with my eyes, very bright. All right, so it's one of those watches that you really have to see with your own eyes to really appreciate. All right, again, if you have any ideas or any thoughts on this watch in particular, let us know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video like this one. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch, you can do so down in the link in the description below. Visit our store at jazztime.com. We'll see you in the next one.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.